This is VOA News. I'm David Byrd in Washington. Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren has formally announced her candidacy for president next year. As AP's Ben Thomas tells us, Warren called for change in a political system she said is rigged in favor of the rich.
Elizabeth Warren chose the blue-class Massachusetts city of Lawrence to formally launch her campaign for president, pledging to promote
an America that works for everyone.
The populist senator from Massachusetts says President Trump is not the cause, just the most extreme symptom of what's gone wrong in America.
A product of a rigged system that props up the rich and powerful and kicks dirt on everyone else.
And she makes this promise.
I will fight my heart out so that every kid in America can have the same opportunity I had, a fighting chance to build something real.
I'm Ben Thomas.
Thousands of French Yellow Vest demonstrators marched on Saturday with scuffles in Paris on the 13th week of demonstrations. Reuters correspondent Lauren Anthony gives us details.
Some protesters were visibly injured during scuffles with police, who let off tear gas in an attempt to disperse the crowds. Other marchers tried to set up a barricade on the Boulevard Saint-Germain. Police had said that around 14 people had been arrested by early afternoon. The movement has been a political thorn in Macron's side since last November, when the group, named after the fluorescent vests French motorists are required to keep in their cars, took to the streets in hordes over his reform agenda. Yellow Vest protesters said the national debate initiated by President Macron as a response to the movement's grievances did not sufficiently address them, especially their demand for a referendum tabled by citizens.
Lauren Anthony of Reuters. This is VOA News. U.S.-backed and Kurdish-led Syrian forces said Saturday they've launched a final push to defeat the Islamic State group in the last tiny pocket the extremists hold in eastern Syria. Syrian Democratic forces backed by U.S. air power have driven Islamic State from large swaths of territory it once controlled in northern and eastern Syria. The extremists are now confined to a small pocket of land near the border with Iraq. Tunisian authorities have given 7 suspects life in prison and handed out other sentences in the trial over 2 separate attacks in 2015 in Tunisia that killed 60 people. The verdicts were handed down Saturday for the deadly attack against the country's famous Bardo Museum and a massacre at a popular seaside resort. Islamic State militants claimed responsibility for the attacks, which, along with an attack on the Imperial Hotel, devastated Tunisia's vital tourism sector and prompted foreign governments to issue travel warnings for the country. Several thousand people marched in Serbia's capital Belgrade to protest populist President Aleksandar Vučić, who is showing some signs of nervousness after 10 straight weeks of anti-government demonstrations. The protesters on Saturday jeered in front of the state TV and Politika newspaper headquarters, which are firmly under Vučić's control. The protests, which have spread outside of Belgrade, accuse Vučić of stifling free media and democracy in the Balkan country. He denies the accusation, and media under his control have called protesters Western stooges. Vučić is a former extreme pro-Russian nationalist who now says he wants Serbia to join the European Union. Flamengo Football Club chief executive Reinaldo Bellotti said on Saturday the Brazilian club is working closely with authorities to establish what caused a fire at a training ground that left 10 young players dead. Speaking at a news conference in Rio, Bellotti said his club is working with several groups to find out why the fire happened. He said we are in contact with a number of authorities, governmental, judicial, legal, police, and we are facilitating all their operations. But we want clear clarification as to what happened in this incident. The blaze ripped through the sleeping quarters at the Ninho do Urubu complex in western Rio on Friday. Bellotti also rejected suggestions by the office of Rio's mayor that the dormitory was built on an area registered as a car park. For more, visit our website, voanews.com. I'm David Byrd, VOA News.